Okay, so this is the vine. I used to, when I was a kid, call it ivy. It's not ivy. It's like philodendron or whatever it is. And I'm going to show you up close. It has, this is the one, the original from Grandma. Not the original as if there's only one, but the original of the ones that I've got 2 or 3 of them. This is the mama plant, and it has all these dark spots. I don't know what that's from, like some bug a couple of years back, several years back. Anyway, it used to have these really long, like I think it had about this much greenery vine, maybe a little less originally, and no, it was probably this much. And when Mom gave it to me, and she told me it was from Grandma, and it's got this gorgeous variegated leaves, and I was so afraid I was going to kill it, and to be honest, I kind of did, because I know they're finicky. They're great once they get established and you give them routine and don't change their environment too much. They're not great when they get a lot of variation, and especially when they get a lot of wind. They do not like wind. I had one of the original ones Mom gave me years and years and years ago. Gosh, it was like 14 years ago. She gave me that had, I think they were solid colored leaves, which I think I still have part of in my studio that still lived. I'm shocked about. But it was up. I put it up on a shelf by a window, and I was going to wrap it around the room like I'd done in the house prior. And what happened when I moved from the other house to this house is it had a different environment, and it was right underneath. This house had, my previous house had floor vents, and this house had ceiling vents, and it was like right underneath the ceiling vent. And it was like a year and a half before, I think Mom visited one time, and I asked her, why is it dying? And she said, but they don't like to be in the air. And of course it was right next to the door and the window, and so whenever the door would open, you'd get cold air, and it was not good. So which is weird, because I used to have a bunch of them in my original house here that wrapped around the entire kitchen, and I thought they were by the door, and I guess they were to a degree. But I think the problem is that all the growth by the, right here, by the, what's this called? By the dirt at the stem, all the growth there started to die back. And then I would be like, okay, fine, I'm going to shove it in the dirt again. And then it would die back. Well, this one, I did that too, and at one point I just coiled all that dead growth because it was just sitting here, and it had so much, like, all these leaves would fall off, and I was really irritated. I was like, am I overwatering, underwatering? I didn't know what I was doing. Eventually I had it coiled around here it was coiled for a very long while, and then the good part would go up here and hang over. And then what I did was I learned, I want to say it's like 9 months ago or something, I learned that you can cut. So I cut here. You can see it. This is the one I cut that you put the end of in the bathroom, because it was only just like, whoa, why are we adjusting? Okay. Anyway, I cut it here, and it was like, so it would go like this much longer. And I cut that little bit off and put it in the bathroom. I rooted it, and then maybe there's a couple of nodes. Like I think it had, like you can see here, I think it had some of these like air roots that were pretty solid. So I put them in the ground, and then the leaves had died back. I put it in the ground and let it grow. I did an experiment where I cut all that part that had no leaves on it. I cut it up because they said you can cut, if there's no leaf here, you can cut all this and put the part where it has all these little gizmos, roots. You can put the roots without the leaves. You can put them on the top of some sphagnum moss, orchid moss, whatever, which I had a bunch of. So you put it in there in moisture, lots of moisture, in a plastic bag or little terrarium environment. Why are we not focusing? That's weird. And then you let it sit for several months, or I should say weeks, and you let it out, let it get some fresh air twice a week. So I put it in a windowsill and did that, and had, oh gosh, probably 30 little stem bits, and most of them grew roots, and I have the last version of them right now, which I will show you in a second. So here they are. I'm back in the bathroom again with the noise. So this is the moss, and it's moist, and so like I put it in this container, a to-go container that has, you know, then so you can see it's like all moist from being in there all week. And then ideally you have it in the sun. This last week I've been going to plant it and then didn't, and of course the color's not great on it anymore. So if you look at them, you can see they have roots growing. These ones didn't have any roots at all when I put them in there. So they're growing, and they have those little leaf nodes, which, I'm sorry, that was terrible videography. So they have these roots growing in the leaves in this moist, wet sphagnum moss. And again, they overwintered in this terrible temperature, but they were in the sun, in the windowsill. And I did that with, you can see the moss is growing better than they are. I did that with all the little bits and ended up leaving them for a while for the purpose of trying to propagate them. Anyway, then what has happened since, I guess I did this 6 or 9 months ago, whatever it was, this, I think it was still summer, late summer. So then since I cut this off right here, then I guess we want to focus on outside, that's fine. Then all of this has grown since then. It's grown crazy. So it's very healthy. Mom would be proud. I know she really cares about the plants, and so do I, especially when they came from somebody special, like Grandma, who is no longer. So it's really important that they don't die if we can keep that from happening. And they have pretty health. I think this one right here and these two are new. In the last, like this, you can tell is really old. It didn't grow anything in the winter for a very long time because temperature. And then just in the last couple of months, I don't even say months, I want to say like 1 month. So like 4 weeks since the temperature has adjusted and I stopped overwatering everything. Now I'm back to watering these significantly twice a week. And they have pretty packed soil. I went through the house and loosened up the soil with the skewers, being careful with the roots. And I did that with this one, but I mean, it just likes to be packed. I guess not it likes to, but the dirt likes to get compact. So it is what it is, and I'm not super concerned about it because she's super healthy and happy. And I haven't really moved it from this window except for when I relocated it into the container and then put it immediately back so that it would just stay in its same environment. But it's pretty happy. Mom would be so thrilled. Oh, at least I hope she would. I don't know. If I was her, I would be. Anyway, and it's got babies. Like, yay, all of Grandma's things, and I'm hoping that I can give them to my youngest sister, and she can take some, and then she can have Grandma's stuff too. So I've got those 2 in the bathroom, and the ones that I just showed you, the little bitties, are going to go, I'm going to plant them in here like today or tomorrow. No, I'll probably do it on the new moon, which I think is tomorrow. So yeah, I'll do it tomorrow. And then you just plant them in here so that there's not just one vine growing. Eventually, those will all have, so I think there was 4 in that little box, maybe 3. Then I'll have 4 vines growing, and it'll be this thriving little thing. And I don't know that they care about being root bound. They seem to be just fine, as long as you give them enough water. Anyway, that's that gizmo. None of my plants have names. Maybe I should give them names. Anybody want to help me? Okay, this is the last space, so you don't have to listen to my vocal fry anymore after this. And this guy is, again, cut from the original. Dude, it was long and tangly, so it has lost so many leaves. I think 1, and you can see this is what they look like when they get overwatered. And this is also what the roots look like when they all end up in the pot. You can see the charcoal and, you know, whatever. So there was a leaf here and here and here and here and here and here and this one. Let's see. This one, this one, this one, and I think that one. There were 3 or 4. Like they lived this direction, one was up against the wall, one was into the wall, and they all were going every direction. And when I overwatered and had cold in here, those ones all died back, which made me very sad. And I mean, I guess I could, I don't think they're like the ivy or the philodendron, where I mean, maybe I'll Google it and find out where you can cut them here and here and then try and root them and maybe the leaves will come back. Wouldn't that be cool? I don't know. I'll Google that and see, but that's a project for another year, not for this year. Anyway, I'm going to have to cut this off soon. But same with this guy. This was a new leaf. I want to say, and he's got a lot of fenestration. Check that out. So I want to say all the leaves that died, I don't think any of them had fenestrations. But I want to say, my battery's dying, that this one was like last week it came out, and it's already doing so well, wide open. And it's been in this position. I kind of turned it a tiny bit just because the leaves were in the way of the curtain closing once these guys died. And again, the dirt is pretty dry. And this is the pot that it's in. It has drainage. And then this is another snake plant that has a couple of, I think it has 3 in there. But that one's healthy enough to give away in a pot that is happy to give away. And this is my orchid, which I wanted to talk about. I don't know if I'll have space on my battery for this, but this is my favorite thing. It is super happy and healthy and did not drop leaves because apparently I did not overwater it, or it just has way better drainage, I think is what it is. It's the first one I repotted from that brown pot in the bathroom. This year last year it put out this one and had all these flowers that were like right here, like, whoopsie, that's not it. Like 10, maybe 8 flowers here. I think it was 8. And then this year I did not cut it back. I usually do. But I didn't for whatever reason. I think because the end of it still seemed like it was hardy. And I was like, wait, is it going to grow more? And so I left it, and it did. It grew this year on top of the old growth. And it's got those bloomed about a month and a half ago. And this one literally opened this morning. Check her out. Isn't she the cutest? And it's super healthy. Again, has a lot more maybe aeration in it. This is the one that my client friend helped me pot. And it also has tons of holes in it. So it might be because of that. Maybe, I don't know. I repotted it the first time with her help. No, she didn't help me pot this one. I repotted it the first time with her help with the one. It's got 3 more growing. Look at that. And one little, that's not showing. Dang it. Right there, that little node. Anyway, I repotted it with that other one that belongs to my sister, the pink one, in that pot first. And then once the other one needed that pot, I transferred it to this bigger one. And it had already gone through a growth cycle by then. A whole nother thing. And then this is my other monstera that just lost 2 leaves. It's only got 2 right now. But it has healthy roots and a decent pot and, the same overwatering problem that I had before. And then here is the purple guy. And he has purple flowers. Look at him. Yay. So pretty. Look at all those flowers. All those leaves. Super happy. Same pot, same as the other. And this guy I just got from my sister's mother-in-law. And it had a brother and it died. It was over by that baby aloe. And this is the top of it that it died. I don't know if it'll continue to live. But it got moldy and died. And then these are those 2 that I was telling you about. 2 more of the ones that came from Grandma's. And they were rooted in, you can see them much better. They were rooted in, see how they grew their leaves. And then once they did that's a flower. Once they did their leaves, their first leaf, once they were in the dirt, they decided to get rid of that first leaf and then grew several more. So eventually there'll be multiple leaves growing out I'm sorry, multiple vines growing out. And now they're finally starting to grow because of the temperature change. I don't know why these two leaves don't have any variation, but I don't mind. I like a little variation in the pot. And this guy is the last plant. He is another jade bit that came from the others. You can see how the top of the bulb of this one, but I think, I don't know what's going on with that bulb bit because that's the bottom of one. So I think I just put the branch from one that got cut off and then one that was growing, and look at how much it has grown. Anyway, I'm going to cut it off because the battery's dead. Anyway, choose whichever ones you want, and some of them are in pots that have inner pots, some are not. Once you decide what you want, I will make a video of how I currently care for them, where they currently are, and I'll collect those, and it'll just be the ones that you want. I hope this helps.